Well, hello, hello, and good evening, one and all. Clive Leach here, as you would expect, and I'm in Sarasota at our home in Southwest Florida, and that's a miracle of modern technology. This isn't it? Quite surprising. So we're going to get cracking. First of all, you should have on your screen to the right-hand side, just here, you should have a column. And some of you are already sort of saying good evening and you're here and stuff like that. So if you would just do that, so I know I've got a rough idea who's here. And as our talk unfolds tonight, if you have any questions, pop them in there. And if we have time, I'll try and answer as many as I can. First of all, last week, our broadcast with our great pal Eric Worre. Yes, it was funny. I now have more grey hair and I'm going a little bit more bald as a result of that, and things are in hand. Anyway, Eric's not with us this week because he's flying around. Literally, he's flying around the United States making a documentary about network marketing, which I think is going to be a really useful tool. But he has promised that we're going to get some time together and he will be back on the broadcast pretty soon. So that was last week. If you haven't watched it, by the way, there is some good content on it, and you can actually watch it again. It's on YouTube, and you can access the link through the Facebook site, Leach Ross. That's Leach, new word, ROSS, Facebook/Leach Ross. And that will take you to the links, and they're all on there. Incidentally, we're developing that particular page. It's close to our group, and we're transferring a lot of resource material, scripts and all sorts of stuff will be there, and it'll be just for our group. So what I thought I'd like to do is I've got my journal here, and I've made some notes in it, so we know what we're doing. And thank you for the comments about my shirt already. Thank you. My notes. So what I'd like to do first of all is just quickly review what we've done in our previous broadcast. In week one, our first broadcast, we talked about how to set a new team member up. Going through all the whole stuff and what have you. We talked about targeting with the senior team leader structure, not the team leader structure, because that demonstrated the need to them that they need to get some personal customers, at least 15, and they need to, recruit at least 5 people, and then help a couple people get to team leader. So they knew what they had to do from the get-go. And then we talked about developing their contact list. Then we went through the hot list script, and then we went through the warm list script. And if you remember, I set you a task about talking to the people that you haven't spoken to or seen to for a long time but are on your list. In broadcast number 2, Diana kicked off with a bit of mindset stuff about belief, which is critical in the career and setup of a distributor. And then we covered inviting people to a career opportunity presentation and how to use that meeting, mutual window dressing, how to give a testimonial quickly and powerfully, and how to use the meeting overall. And last week's episode, before it dissolved into helpless laughter, after the broadcast, Eric and I had a chat on a video thing, a bit like this. And quite literally, he had tears streaming down his cheek. He was laughing so hard. And that, of course, got me going. It was great fun. But before it dissolved into absolute chaos, we did get some good contact. And Eric covered the 6 closing questions so that, again, it's worth a watch. So this week, I'd like to talk to you about presenting one-on-one. See, the challenge you've got is you can invite people to a career opportunity presentation, but in some locations in the United Kingdom, they're quite far apart. All right, the theory is that you should be within an hour's drive of a career op within your area. But that sometimes can be a little bit inconvenient, and if you're inviting someone to meet you there and they've got a fairly long journey, the odds are it's a bit tough. So I want to talk to you this evening about presenting one-on-one, which is my preferred method of introducing people to this business. And I'll tell you for why. in a one-on-one situation, you have much greater control of the presentation, much greater control of the environment, and more importantly, you can actually get the significant other half there as well. If there is one. If somebody is in a relationship, married, or however it works, if they don't come to the career op, so just your prospect turns up, then the prospect goes home and says, I've seen this, it's really great, I'm going to do it. And they kind of go, and it's all a bit strange because they don't see it. They have no experience, they have no knowledge. So prospecting one-on-one is really prospecting one-on-two if you can. It's talking to your person on your list and their significant other. Really important that you do this because some of you will have experienced it, and those of you haven't, it's going to happen, where you get somebody on board, they're really excited, they start doing some stuff, and then the other half start saying, well, no, you're working really hard, and you've been at this for 6 weeks, and you haven't made very much money yet in 6 weeks. We know it takes time to build up. But if they don't understand it, they don't understand the nature of residual income. It's the arrows of discontent, and that can really affect somebody's business. So it's much better from the real start is getting both of them to view your presentation. So we've already covered in our previous broadcasts how to expose people the opportunity using the video, the 2.5-minute video, as a filter, making an appointment from them using the warm list script. But now instead of inviting a coffee, it's, oh, can I pop round and see you on Tuesday at 7:30? Or, you just make the appointment, whenever suits. And you're going to beetle around and see them. Well, I'm saying beetle around. You've got a choice. You can either invite them to come to you, or you can go and see them. In my experience, when Dan and I were really building our business in the very early days, and we did recruit on our front line over 40 people in our first 8 months, I strongly recommend that you actually go and visit them, because they're in their own environment, they're more comfortable, they're relaxed, but you need to be prepared. So, for example, if you're going to be using your tablet to present, make sure it's charged up. Make sure you've got some pencils, well, not pencil, but a pen, a writing instrument, some paper, so you can draw stuff out if you need to. Make sure you've got everything that you need to have with you. You don't be there and going, oh, I forgot. So be prepared. So when you arrive, what's going to happen usually, if you see somebody, in the evening or maybe at the weekend, they're going to say, oh, come on in, and you're going to sit down on the sofa, and they're going to say, have a cup of tea or coffee or a drink. And I don't really care if you're swimming in liquid up to here, you're going to say yes. Okay, yes, please. And the tea and coffee is going to prepare. Now, it's at this point very often that the significant other person will say, I'll leave you to it, and you need to try and capture that person and say, oh, look, please stay. I really like you to be part of this presentation, see what we're talking about. You might have some questions, and I really would like you to be part of this rather than just going beetling off. Would that be okay? And if you do that, generally they'll say yes, okay, they'll sit down. Okay. Now you also need to take control of the environment. If you've got a couple of dogs and they're playing in front of the fireplace or something like that, or children playing in front of the fireplace, or cats playing in front of the fireplace, just say, look, this is a business presentation, and I really want this to sort of go well, and I don't want you to be distracted. So could we just, get this lot out? And nicely, of course, but take control of the environment. The next thing that you need to do before you start presenting is, now if we had a bit of small talk, how's the weekend been, and all that sort of stuff, is tell your story. This is absolutely critical. You know, how you got involved, why you got involved, you know, the reason that you're working this business, and it needs to be truthful, needs to be powerful. You know, you can easily just say, I'm sick and tired of living like I'm living. You know, I want something better for my family. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm ashamed to say it, but I've got some credit card debt that I need to bury. You know, and whatever you want to say, you know, as long as it's truthful, but you must give the reason why you decided to do this. And it's important because your prospects will now relate to you. They'll identify with your reason. They'll understand why you're doing it. And they'll probably start thinking of their own reasons why they should be doing it. So that's pretty key stuff. Okay. Because things have changed, you know, and our business has developed and we have new tools, I would encourage you to use your tablet and say this. On here, you know, with your tablet, I've got a couple of tools that we use to build our business. They're two very short videos. And if I may, I'd like to show you the first one now. I need to show the Sateri video. Now, the Sateri video does, without question, introduce our services really well. It's very well produced. It works astonishingly well. It's very pleasant, and of course, when you see Sateri, you know, on it, it's social proof. You hear him talk about having 500,000 customers. It's social proof. You hear him talking about the Witch report. It's social proof. And they're also thinking, well, I can show people a video. It's very duplicatable. So once that video has finished, you can say, well, you know, that's our services. And from what you've seen up to now, which bit do you like best? And they might say, oh, you know, whatever, they like the witch stuff, or, you know, whatever they say, a little bit of conversation. So look, what I'd like to do now is show you our second video. It's only very short, but it's just going to give you an overview of actually how the money side of things work. And let's then just show them the money animation video. Now again, this does a great job in introducing people to the concepts of how our business runs. It talks about the registration fee. It talks at length about personal income from your personal commissions, your personal customers, I beg your pardon, your personal customer volume commission. It does touch upon the group residual income. And when it's finished, you now need to make a decision. And I'll explain that if I may. As you know, having watched the previous broadcasts, part of the recruitment process is the prospecting process is that once they've watched the 2.5 minute filter video, you know, you do ask them, well, which bit, you know, is there a level of interest here? Yes, okay, well, just between you and me and off the record, how much money, you've been on a part-time basis without disturbing what you're doing today, how much would it be to make it worth your while to do this? And they're going to come up with a figure, you know, be it £500, £200, £1,000, whatever it is. And you're also going to say during that process, well, you know, how many hours would you commit to this? And they're going to come up with a figure. And then you're going to say, well, how many months would you prepare to do this to get to that figure? And that's what's led you then to this presentation, because they've said this, this, and this, and you said, okay, so, you know, and we need to get together so I can show you. So now you've shown them the video. Now, the video, in my opinion, does a cracking job up to a certain income level. It kind of speaks for somebody who's looking to make a couple of £1,000 in their first year. It falls a little short of somebody who wants to make more than that. So if somebody is within that area, you know, they want to make, you know, £100, £200 per month, once the video's finished, it would be very easy to say, okay, well, that's our story. Which bit do you like best? Okay, great. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, where are we? 1 being is no level of no interest at all, 10 being you're ready to get going, and hopefully it's a 10. Okay. If it's not a 10, or you already know that the income level that they've indicated to you that they're looking for is more than £200 a month, I would strongly suggest you show them the power of the residual income. Absolutely key. Now, I'm just having a look at some questions here, making sure everything's okay. Okay, fine. And I've got a testimonial here from Dawn Glasgow, and it says, when we did this when we visited a guy in Glasgow about 3 weeks ago. We showed the Sederi, the business, our story, drew out the compensation plan, and he took it away, signing up as an ID this week. It certainly worked for us. So, proof already, okay? So what I'm saying to you now, okay, is that we've shown a video. They want to do more than, earn more than a couple £100 a month. We need to draw it out for them. Now the key to this, and this is where most people go wrong, the key to this is make it very personal and very real to the person you're talking to, or the persons. You know, you might have that person with their significant other half. They must be included in this part of the presentation. And so I say, right, well, now you've seen that, what I'd like to do now, if I may, I'd just like to draw it out for you on a piece of paper, how the money, the sort of income level that you're looking for really works. So if I may, we're going to draw this out together. I'm going to use my my journal, okay, as a sketch pad, and we'll take it from there. So let's pretend that we're going to be talking to our prospect, and let's say that she's called Julie, and let's say that she's got with her husband, who's called Richard. So I would draw a circle in my notes that says Julie and Richard, okay? Now, what I do now is I'll ask them this question. Who do you know that would like to make more money this year than they did last? And when you've asked the question, this is what you must do. Shut up. Don't speak. Sit. And the common thing is everybody, or they might actually come up with a name. So if they say everybody, they say, right, well, just give me the first name of somebody you're thinking about right now. And Julie says Carl. So I draw another circle like that, and I put Carl's name in it, okay? And then I ask the question, and this is key. I say to them, how long have you known Carl? And they say, 15 years. Oh, okay. And what does Carl do? He's unemployed. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How long has he been unemployed? Oh, as long as I've known him. Oh, really? Then with the greatest respect, I think we need to talk to somebody different other than Carl, because Carl basically has sat on the sofa for the last 15 years watching daytime TV, and although he might need this opportunity, you know, he might not be the best person to go and talk to straight away. We'll get to him later, but right now let's look at some people that's going to help you really drive your business. So give me another name. And they come up with Wendy, call her, okay? So I cross Carl out, I put Wendy there. And they see me drawing this, because it's usually, you know, on the coffee table or something like that. I say, okay, tell me about Wendy. And, how long have you known her? And say, I've known her for 6 years. What she does, she's a school teacher, fantastic. And what sort of personality does she have? Well, she's really bubbly, outgoing. What sort of skill sets does she have? She's a great communicator. Now, this now sounds like a prospect that I really, really want to talk to. So I say, okay, let's pretend that we, introduce Wendy to this business. And like you, Wendy gets some customers, okay? So just like you've seen in the video, she's going to earn that personal income, that personal commission income based on her customers. And just like in that video, you're going to get the group residual income based on her customers as well. Do you remember it's set up to 50 pence a customer? Okay. So let's just continue with this. Give me the second name of somebody today, who you're thinking of right now. And let's say they say Peter. And again, I'll repeat the process. How long have you known Peter? What's his skill set? All that sort of stuff. And he sounds like a likely prospect. So I said, well, let's pretend that we do the same thing. Show them the videos, and we draw this out. And Peter says, okay, I'll come out to play. And then I say, just give me the last name for today. And let's say they say Ethel. So Ethel goes to circle. And again, the same thing. How long have you known Ethel? Skill set, personality, da-di-da-di-da. And she's a proper prospect, so we include and say she's got customers, personal commission, group commission. It's really starting to build up. Now, in this scenario, you've got some customers. Let's say you've got 10 customers, okay? And let's say these people, they get 10 customers each. So your scribble starts to look like that. And if we count that up, that's 10, 20, 30, 40 customers altogether. 10, 20, 30, 40. And which means that if somebody just gets a few more customers, makes it 50 altogether, you get promoted to our first position in the compensation plan called team leader. And in doing so, you're going to get a £250 bonus, etc. And is that of interest to you? And they always say yes. Right. But we did talk about, you told me on the telephone that you're prepared to work 5 hours a week for a year to get to £800 a month. Let me show you this, because this is what got me involved. This is what got Dan involved. And I show this to pretty well everybody who I talk to who's interested in this opportunity. Right now, we've introduced 3 people, okay? And we teach these 3 people how to do this. Show the videos, how to draw this out. And those 3 people duplicate you. They get 3 people each. So those 3 people now have introduced 3 people. That's 9 people who are on your second level. And then we teach those people to teach the other people. We're not doing it, they're doing it, okay? And they say, okay, they get 3 people each, so that's now 27. And then we teach those 3 people to teach those people to teach those people. They're doing it, we're not. They get 3 people each, that's 81, isn't it, on your 4th level. So if we add that up, 8, 17, that's 20, 10, 12, that's 120 distributors in your team. With my mark out of the way. 120 people in your team, okay? And then I say, but watch this. Let's say we introduce 5 people, and they introduce 5 people each. So that's now 25 people on your second level. And those 25 people, they duplicate. 5 people each, that's 125 people on your 3rd level. And then those 125 people do the same. That's 5 people, that's 625 people. And if we add that up, that comes to 780 people. Now, right now, you can see there's a big difference between this and this. But the real difference is just 2 people. And the income that we talked about, the £800,000 a month, we do that, you're going to be well past it. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is you have no interest whatsoever, and 10 you're ready to get going, where are you? And generally they'll say, let's get started, unless they haven't got the 100 quid. So, that's what I really wanted to cover tonight. I also wanted to just look at my notes, make sure I've not missed anything out here. Oh yeah. Let's say there are 9. Okay, they're not a 10. The 9, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9 usually means that I really like to do this, but I'm not quite ready to commit because I haven't got £100. So offer them another exposure. Say, okay, well, I understand you're a 9, so we need to do a little bit more. We've got a career opportunity presentation in a week's time on app. I'd love you to come. It's invitation only. I'd like you to come as my special guest, and let's do that. Have you ever noticed that at the career opportunity presentations we have more distributors than we have guests? And that's because a lot of them are brand new distributors. They're for a second exposure. They've already signed up. They want to see if they are the only lunatics in the world that are doing this. And they feel comfortable and all the rest of it. That's one of the purposes for it. So let me have a look at these questions here. We've got anything here? Somebody likes my shirt. Okay. Gosh, my shirt's ever so popular. Okay. Right, so I think nobody seems to have a question about this. You'll be able to catch this up and see this on YouTube. I'm going to be posting the link very shortly on our Facebook page as soon as it's uploaded to YouTube. It'll take about 20 minutes or so. And then I'll be posting that link and I'll also be sending it out to our Google online coaching circle as well. Next week, next Sunday, we're going to do something as an add-on to this. We're going to talk about how you present to people a long way away. Let's pretend that you live in Portsmouth and you have a pal who lives in Aberdeen. And how do you handle that? So we're going to be doing that next week, Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. I'm going to have some help with somebody who's been doing that, doing it very well. So I'm just about finished for tonight, unless we have any questions at all. I don't think we do yet. But if you do think of any afterwards, please feel free to do so. So, in closing, we understand the process. We go through the process of using the video as a filter. You've got the warm list script to invite them. You make the appointment. You use the third-party tools because they're ever so duplicatable to present. You sketch it out, which you need to learn to do. Okay, and you need to teach your new people to do this, so they can do it by. It's like learning the 2 times table, when you're a kid. So they can just do it like that, with absolutely no problem at all. So that's key. And then finally, all this stuff's going to be on the Facebook Leach, L-E-A-C-H, new word, Ross, R-O-S-S. So that's Facebook/Leach Ross, Leach space Ross. And that'll take us to it. If you're not already on there, send me a friend request, and also please send me a private message with your ID number in it, please, because it's just for our group only. We're building a resource file there for you to be able to use and all that sort of stuff, as well as this video stuff, which is great fun. So next week is long distance recruitment with a special guest who's going to be helping me with that. And the week after that, we're going to have some really interesting people. So, ladies and gentlemen, my time's up. Thank you very much for yours. I'll be posting it shortly. And if you have been, thank you for watching. And I'm glad you like my shirt. I am now, by the way, off to the beach. Bye.